Hey guys, welcome back to Fleetyards Mission Briefings. We are here to raid your computer screens or TV screens again. I'm Captain Foley.
I am Commander Coggins.
Today we're looking at an oldie but a goodie. We are looking at, as we do here. So I got to tell you what we do here on
So
Fleetyards Mission
excited about
Briefings.
looking at this thing.
Samuel's like, what's he doing? All right, so we look at sci-fi franchises. We love sci-fi. We love the ships of the sci-fi, the tech, the cool goodies like the robots and the tech and the ships. And of course, there are a lot of sci-fi franchises out there. So Fleetyards came about because we wanted to look at these things in detail, some of which we know a lot about, some of which we don't know a lot about. These mission briefings are a first look, so we can kind of spew our experience all over it and talk about it, or lack of experience, depending on the ship.
And analyze it fresh, because if we've seen it for the first time,
Yes.
or we've seen it for in detail for the first time, you can think new things based on knowledge of general sci-fi. It's been a really fun process to open Stuart's eyes and bring me ships I've never seen, like this, and this, and then say, oh, I got that right after you watch the episode, because you make suggestions and say, they did think that through.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, and a lot of these ships, of course, we'll do full episodes on, which are completely researched, scripted, full animations, full renders, and lots of cool stuff. But these mission briefings are just a quick look to get it out there so you guys can talk about it in the comments and just enjoy some great views of the ships, because the ships are what it's about. So what are we looking at today here on Fleetyards Mission Briefings?
Looking at the Cylon Raider.
That looks like a blade, like a punching blade.
It does.
We're not looking at
Stab,
that
stab.
Cylon Raider. We're not looking at that Cylon
But it's
Raider.
called the Cylon. You told me Cylon Raider. This is the Cylon
Yes.
Raider.
No, this is the Cylon Raider. This is a real Cylon Raider. Which is more like a face mask.
It is. Cylon Raider TOS from the 60s. That's a nice miniature. Which one's that?
It's not a miniature. This is the old model kit. I
Wow.
did this like 20 plus years ago. Good, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's missing one of the bars here, but that's okay. Anyway, yes, we're looking at old school Battlestar Galactica Cylon Raider and basically a flying saucer.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you watch it live in the 60s and see it for the time?
70s.
70s. I mean, so what did you think when you first saw this? Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what I first thought because I was really young, but yes, I did watch it, and I just remember their ships weren't as cool as the humans' ships because the Vipers were like kick-ass. That's where it was at.
Yeah.
So these were just like standard science fiction flying saucer, like I said, kind of vibe to me.
Okay.
Nothing too special, but looking back now, I really appreciate these a hell of a lot more compared to the Cylon Raider we got for the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, the one you just had. I mean, it's aggressive looking, it's interesting, but it's not this reimagined. But I'm pretty sure they did reimagine this one at some point. So
Yes. I mean, this is a unique craft because they rebooted the Battlestar Galactica universe, but they did still have the first Cylon War, even though the first Battlestar Galactica would have killed all of humanity, and that didn't happen in the first Cylon War. But they kept the designs of both the Raider, Base Star, and the Cylons themselves, and we'll look at that in a second. But the original 1970s one, see, I remember always thinking it was a really cool glider. Like, that was always my interpretation. Never so much a flying saucer, because it is so greebly. It's so you understand it so easily. Cockpit, guns. It needs an interesting profile to be swoopy, and it's got the engines. Like, I never thought it was a flying saucer specifically. I thought it was always been cool. Simple, yeah. But I mean, you don't need it to break the bank to be a killing machine.
yeah, and just the size of these intakes and engines, like just boom, it's the bottom of the ship, right? So
exactly. And also, there are limited views of this ship, but we do want to talk about the next picture, which is the Pierre Droulet redesigned one, which we have a scale chart of because we used it previously, and a couple of shots of that first, because this is the new canon version and, like I say, higher detail. And it was used both against the modern guys in Razor and also in the first Cylon War. So what do you think of this reimagining of the actual design?
This is absolutely beautiful. It changes a few things, but it's very subtle. And again, it's a perfect reimagining of a original ship idea, a new concept for a new rebooted series that pays homage to the original but updates it somewhat in all the right ways. Pierre Droulet is a genius. He does fantastic work, and this exemplifies that for sure. I totally approve of this message.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it doesn't even look like a flying saucer anymore because the way the wings are distributed, it looks like flying.
It maintains the aggressive look of the new one that you have there, with the pointy wings.
Yeah.
But pulling it back to that original look. So yeah.
No, that's actually a great point. Yeah, pushing the wings forward just a little bit does change the feel. Yeah, actually, I love that.
Because here's the original. It's very rounded. And
Wow.
Just pull this section back, and it just changes the vibe ever so subtly. But at first glance, it's the original Raider,
But because this is from a previous episode, next picture is the scale. I rendered this for, I believe, the Heavy Raider episode. And these are all the canon ships, canon models, canon scales. And as you can see, because we know the Viper Mark II down below, bottom right, was about the same size as the original Viper from the first Cylon War. So, well, it's a little bigger. I mean, it's a bit chunkier, but it's not too far off. So, the Raiders are pretty big back in the day.
Well, yeah, and they needed to be, because back then there was 3 Cylons on board to control that thing, which we'll talk about later probably.
One was gold.
Dun dun dun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not in every case though.
No.
Yeah, and the new ones, of course, just are piloted by like a brain.
Yep.
There's not necessarily a Cylon in there, so the downsize makes it more maneuverable, makes it harder to hit. Lots of advantages to downsizing. Plus, scooping out that whole middle part also reduces your profile of for targeting. So it's actually a smart idea the way they went with the Raiders from a technological and a strategic point of view. But yeah, I mean, this one here is just a big target. So,
and it's not even like it's more powerful. I mean, it's got two chain guns. And it probably I think it does have some missiles at the bottom, but the other, that's basically the same as what the modern one has, and it's infinitely small and infinitely more maneuverable. So it is a clear advancement. But you can see what I was saying a minute ago about how pushing the ship shapes forward instantly, because it doesn't look like a flying saucer. It has, in fact, a very square middle, but it works. It really, really works, and you can see how it links to Heavy Raider actually as well. A bit of a square middle pointing out pieces. That is kind of the aesthetic that we're now pushing to, and it just works so well. See, next picture though is give you a more human sense of scale. No, it's one of
more
Pierre's
Cylon sense of scale.
Yeah, one of Pierre's wonderful renders again. It just shows you that it's pretty big, pretty big. It has cool landing legs if you want to have cool landing legs.
And again, holds very, very true to the original design. So
we hadn't seen a view with the bottom exhausts, because this is primarily an episode looking at the old one. It's meant to be, but we want to look at the new one as well. We'll look at that new at separate points. Look at the differences. Maybe it might be fun. But next view again. I mean, if you want to hold up the old one, Stuart, to see how similar it is to this. I'm assuming
it's extremely similar.
Yeah, brilliant. Wow, marvelous.
Yeah,
and even more 3-dimensional.
Yeah, just the refinement of shapes. They're the exact same shapes, just refined somewhat, pulled in, tightened up a little bit, and it just works so well to modernize something. So again, Pierre Droulet, man, love that man.
Thank God he came along, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And last view of the new one, again a back view, just wonderful details.
Again, that's exactly the same too. Exactly the same details hidden in there.
Nice.
It's uncanny how familiar it is, and yet different at the same time. So,
speaking of the same though, now we've got the next view, which shows orthographics, and yeah, now I see it as being a flying. The front view is beautiful. Front and back view are really nice. Side view looks like a bug.
Yeah, it does.
The top view is not quite good either, but it shows that the concept of it works. Just the execution needed a little bit of refinement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lots
Very
of cool little details there that I didn't even know, but that's cool. Next shot is from the front, and I gotta admit the canopy, the cockpit, the louvered look is very interesting. It does look aggressive somewhat, and kind of mysterious because you can't really see what's in there. Although at one point I think you can see, like, they zoom in or something, and you can see like the three eyes doing the, which is very imposing. But yeah, nice little ship.
Yeah, it's well, the canopy. I don't necessarily understand why. I mean, I know Cylons don't need air to breathe, but why have little vents you can't see as much? Never quite made sense to me. It seems super unfunctional.
A little bit, yeah. It's like a blast shield. Like, I could understand it for people, but
yeah, I don't know. Next picture though is a back view, and again this is the classic. Cooling engines. Actually, I'll give them that.
It's pretty much all engine and cockpit. This ship. The wings don't have much. They don't offer much. They just point to mount the cannons. So it does what it says on the box, I guess.
Well, it would have been cool to have aft-mounted cannons too. I mean, there's obviously lack of anything there. They could have, shot while reversing.
Well, you always have Vipers behind you because the Viper pilots are better anyway.
Yeah. Pew pew. Need more pew pews.
Always more pew pews. Ooh, look, there's an internal shot. They're sitting kind of close together, the front two guys. Usually they're spaced a little further apart. But I love the triangular configuration with, like, the leader, the commander at the back, and then the pilot and the gunner, I guess, at the front. It's a good configuration. It's like the Star Trek bridge. Captain in the helm console.
Yeah, and you can see the Cylon ships sort of represented in the helmets, with the grating being it does make sense. It does visually link. It's just not necessarily as functional, but it's cool to be able to they cut into seeing the robot cockpit with them talking to each other. It's like, okay, probably a little bit unnecessary, but
they wouldn't need to talk to each other. They'd be all linked mentally or into the computer, right? So,
sir, they are flying away. Yes, I know. I was told by the computer. Why are you telling me what I like to talk sometimes? Shut up, Jerry. No, you shut up. I never get to talk. Let me talk, goddammit.
Yeah, and Jerry's scanner isn't doing this. It's like he's the cross-eyed one.
He does a face palm. But you still see the light. Next shot though, you see the CG cockpit. They were in love enough with. I'm pretty sure in Razor actually the team built this without any budget because they needed it. They wanted it to be in here to rebuild the original Cylons like this and actually build a little. I mean, it's a simple cockpit, but just to get a sense of the same thing. Pretty cool. And gold. Yeah, he's gold.
Yeah. I gotta point out too here that the Cylons, the original Cylons for 1977 or the 77, is it 77? Anyway, 1970s Battlestar Galactica were designed by Andrew Probert, a good friend of this channel. Also worked on the Enterprise refit and the Enterprise D.
A couple of things I've heard of.
Yeah, a few. So I just wanted to point that out, that if you didn't know that, the helmets and design of the Cylons were done by him back in the day. And this is a very faithful representation of that. I do think this feels very Roughnecks, though. Very computer CG. It's very obvious. I mean, it's not very realistic.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It was limited budget. I mean, if this was meant to be this is a really important scene with them spewing dialogue, and they could have put more time and money. But, I mean, Razor had a lot of new visual effects. Like, a lot. That was a big one. I mean, that entire destruction of Scorpio shipyard was gorgeous sequence, just unbelievably gorgeous. So, money went to the important places, and this is a quick cutaway. So, but next picture though, I love that Stuart included this. It's I'm assuming a fan, because I don't think they probably built it exactly like this, but a fan interpretation or from a magazine they did it, but what it looked like without the Cylons, and this is really, really interesting.
It is very cool. It seems kind of impractical in a way to have Cylons have to man their ships. You can see the hatch there where they have to crawl in and out of, and it seems like it would be very bulky and difficult to do. It makes more sense for the new one to just have the machines have brains. I think that's fantastic. Or just transfer the consciousness of a Cylon into one, have it do its mission and come back and go back to the body or something.
Well, that's actually
makes
great.
More sense.
I mean, if you took that to the old school Cylon, you leave Cylon bodies in their positions, but you just transfer consciousness into them. So why have a physical unit move in and out and whatever. That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. And the last picture is just a great orthos of the ship. I love how somebody put on a kit scanner on the front of this one, just like the Cylon. That was never there on the ships, I believe. Let me take a look at this one. Oh, there it is there. I didn't paint mine though, but there it is. And I don't think it had the kit light doing that. But anyway, very cool. Nice tie-in with the actual Cylons themselves. And the full orthos are neat. Like you said, the front and the back are really cool views. The top's all right, but the side is very much... It does feel like a little insect. Just add some wings, and it's got that vibe to it for sure. So, yeah. Cool little ship.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's a ship that had a strong base and needed to be refined.
Had a strong base star.
It's funny because I think the base star design is basically flawless. Like, as a flying saucer, it's like there's a really good flying saucer design. So simple, so elegant, but the little bits of thought went into it are really, really good. And this is one that I think needed that update, and the update's pretty much spot on. I think you probably do a future update, like for example, if in this season they had ever said, oh okay, as in the Cylons, they'd gone back to the old, retired units that still were knocking around and refitted them. I would love to see the shell of the new one, but then take the cockpit out and you actually add more of a sleeker middle bit, more of an integrated body. So it's a single pilot, a single organic pilot. Like, how would you make a modernized killer version of a 3-person attack craft from the first Cylon War? Like, just a refit based on the more modernistic tech I'd like to see. I think it'd be kind of cool because it's don't need to change the sides or the back. Just how would you make the middle third? Just pure interest's sake. So Pierre, get on that. You're not busy enough.
Wow. Too much. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this show. If you want to see more of these kind of ships and these kind of discussions, I would love to do a full episode on the Vipers and the Raiders at some point. So let us know by clicking that like button. And if you want to support the channel to help us do more, you can do that as well. There's a Patreon link down in the description. There's a lot in the description. Check out the description. There's a lot of cool links. But there's Patreon where you can help us on a monthly basis, and that's kind of the backbone of the channel. Helps us. It's kind of a guaranteed, more stable income than, let's say, Google ad revenue. So if you guys can help us on Patreon, that's very much appreciated. Or head on over to Trekyards.com. There's a donate button. That also works. Yeah, you can help us that way, or join us on our live discussions. We do a lot of Trekyards lives where we talk Star Trek. We should do some Fleetyards lives at some point where we can just talk sci-fi. I would love to do that. And then super chats during that are very important as well, as they really bolster the show's revenue and help us continue to make these and bring these ships to you guys.
What he said. Patreon, YouTube, lives, one-time donation. Eagle Moss, you can buy cool things like this, and when they eventually do the Cylon Raider Mark 1, which would be interesting if they do they could do both, couldn't they? They could do the Mark 1 Classic and the Mark 1 New. There's a great link in the description down below. It takes to the Eagle Moss store. Then you put in the code Trekyards and you get some money off for putting money in, but you save, which is a good thing. So buy through us and you save, and you can buy a Raider and a Viper and the whole fleet with less money.
And the easiest thing to do to help us out is help our analytics. Click that like button, click the notification icon, and share this video around where you can, where people will enjoy it. If you know any Battlestar Galactica groups that we might not know about, please share the link and have them come and take a look, and tell them to subscribe. So anyways, until next time, guys, and another cool ship from sci-fi, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Coggins. You've got your own name there, didn't you, Stuart?
No, I just was thinking of a cool way to say it and couldn't think of one.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.